Okay.
Good evening and welcome to the Bedminster Township. This is our regular Township Committee meeting for August 19, 2024. Recognize that we have a full attendance by the Bedminster Township Committee attending here in person. Committeeman Stevenson, Committeeman Hickey, Committeewoman Reschke. Attending remote via Zoom is Committeewoman Fernandez. Ms. Ray, may we please have the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Yes, Mayor. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News Somerville, Bernardsville News Whippany, and to all subscribers and posted at the Township Municipal Building on January 5th, 2024.
Great, thank you. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So this is the time of the meeting that we open up the microphone and the dais for public comments. We do have a public hearing of an ordinance tonight that probably a good chunk of you are here for. There will be an opportunity for public comment during the consideration of the ordinance. So we will open up the public comment for comments that are not related to the ordinance. So if you wish to make a public comment now, not related to the ordinance, raise your hand. Mr. Roden.
Good evening. I'm Michael Roden, Spencer Lane, Pluckerman, New Jersey. Tonight I just wanted to come and actually thank the Township Recreation Committee Director, Noel Mastrobono, for applying for the grant from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for the 2024 Recreation Improvement Grant. Do understand the township has received approval for $72,000 on that spend. I had looked over the original grant proposal, saying that, you're committing to spending open space funds on the dog park over in Burnt Mills Road Dog Park. I really want to say thank you. I appreciate this. I hope this project can move along at a good pace, considering that the documentation did state that it was going to be a township bill, that you weren't really sending it out to bid. It appeared that way on the documents. And, just how it moves along and when it moves along, I really know that a lot of people at the dog park are interested. They really prefer River Road Park for improvements. But, everything seems to be going fine down there at this point. There's some grass that's developed on its own, little clumps of grass that are growing in the gravel. And it's rather interesting to see how that is developing. It's kind of filling in the gravel there. But in regards to the Burnt Mills Dog Park, I hope something comes of it soon. I would like to be part of that. I believe that most of the people who use the dog park would like to be a part of that. And I am looking forward to that development.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Roden. You know how to contact Mr. Mastrobono for further rec department meetings. Any further public comments, once again, not related to the ordinance tonight? Coming up to the microphone, name and address. Wait till you get there. Okay.
Joanne Marino, 1795 Lamington Road. I wasn't really prepared for this tonight, but I just would like to raise a question. If there's someone from the township that could help connect me with the right person from the county to have Lamington Road perhaps made just 40 miles an hour. It goes from 35 to 50 miles an hour right before my house, then back to 35. And it's treacherous trying to get the mail from the mailbox. When people are going 50, they're really doing 60. going to 78. So I don't know if that's something the township would help promote, or if I would need signatures from other residents, but that short stretch of 50 is, seems kind of crazy. We were hit once coming out of our driveway by, people speeding to.
Yeah, so
78.
the traffic, once again, as you pointed out, it is a county road.
Right.
So the traffic
Right.
Restrictions on Lamington are subject to county approval. Frank, can you take yourself off mute?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. So Chief Bernardo, question regarding outreach to the county, if there's someone that a resident could speak to at the county to explore changing the speed limit on Lamington Road. And
Yeah, why don't you-
particularly at the 50 where it goes 30 to 50
35.
to
35 to
35 to
50, back
50, then back to
35.
35.
Yeah, if you just get her phone number, we'll reach out to her tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay, so if you
That's
want to give
great.
your phone number
Thank
to Ms.
Thank
Ray.
I gave you Matt Roper's information before. I think you the county engineer, Matt Roper. You can just write him as a It's a county road, but go ahead, just write your information down. It's the same thing. We'll see what the chief can do. Now to do the traffic study.
Okay, once again, any further comments not related to the ordinance tonight? And Robin, while you're wrapping up, do we have anyone participating via Zoom who would like to make a comment not related to the ordinance?
I'm not seeing a show of hands here, Mayor.
Okay. And once again, for anyone on Zoom who wishes to make a public comment, take your cursor down to reactions, click on raise hand. Seeing none, let's move on. We have one set of meeting minutes to approve. That's the August 5th, 2024 Township Committee meeting. Comments or questions regarding the meeting minutes that have not otherwise been provided to Ms. Ray? Seeing none, take motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
We have 6 permits and raffles on for tonight. First is a social fair permit for Bedminster Township's Fall Fest Community Day on October 13. Is that a Saturday or Sunday?
13th is a
Saturday.
Sunday.
13th is a Sunday.
It should-
Yeah, you know what? This
It
is
should be-
2023 as
Yeah,
well.
she's
Yeah.
got the wrong date in there.
Yeah.
It should say,
The 12th in 2024.
2024, correct.
Okay, social fair permit for Fall Fest, October 12, 2024, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. at River Road Park. Next, social fair permit to benefit Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. Robin, is that right? Is it to benefit Fiddler's Elbow or is it for something else?
It is. They have their own foundation.
They have their own foundation?
That they raise money for the
Okay.
young man that was killed from Penn State.
Okay. So the social fair permit to benefit Fiddler's Elbow Country Club, some foundation on September 7th, 2024 from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. Next, social fair permit to benefit Shift Natural Lands Trust, Inc., September 21, 2024 from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the U.S. Equestrian Team Foundation. A social fair permit to benefit Summit Health Cares on September 23, 2024 from 8 a.m. to 5:30 at Hamilton Farm Golf Club. A social fair permit to benefit Raritan Headwaters Association on October 6, 2024 from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Fairview Farm Wildlife Preserve. And last, a fireworks permit for fireworks display scheduled for September 7, 2024 at approximately 9:30 p.m. at Hamilton Farm Golf Club. So why don't we take the social fair permits first? Any questions or comments regarding those permits? Seeing none, take a motion to approve agenda items A, B, C, D, E.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Fireworks permit. So Robin, this has gone through both police and fire for review.
Yes, and I just have an email from fire official Stephen Dill. He said he's reviewed the firework application at Hamilton Park submitted for September 7th. He has no issues and will issue a permit after inspection of site prior to the event.
Okay, and the duration of the fireworks display?
The duration is looks like 12 minutes.
Okay. Questions or comments regarding the fireworks permit? None? Seeing none, take a motion to approve the fireworks permit for September 2nd.
So.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Monthly report discussion by subcommittee chair, Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Just got an update for DPW this evening. Store Pres will meet later on this month. Generator project for Town Hall is proceeding. I don't know if you had a chance to see earlier. It was a sizable trench out there. I think it's been run and filled back in, but we still got to complete it to the meter, but significant progress on that project. With some of the rains, we've been able to get back out cutting the grasses. Jason's reporting that we're able to do that in a quicker time frame now due to the larger mowers. So that's good feedback on money well spent there. Storm August 6th. We had a couple days of brush and cleanup, and I believe we opened up the the dump for folks who needed to drop debris. So we're actually in the process of churning that around. We're gonna have mulch ready. Is it ready, Jason?
It'll be ready by Monday.
Okay, so we're gonna have mulch ready to go out for folks who are looking for it, so spread the word. Free delivery.
Yeah.
We're still looking to do free deliveries for that. Just get rid of it. So if you know of any folks that are looking for it, still continue to remove the dead ash trees out of Miller Lane. Dirt roads still obviously are continuing, part of our assessment. Spook Hollow and Fowler have been built up recently. You'll recall that we'd commissioned some folks down in DPW to GPS our lights. So I'm happy to report that that project is clearing out. We're almost done. We've just got to do one more little section. And then for later, I can mention it, Old Stone House gas line, not complete yet, but I guess we're making progress on that.
They weren't there today.
They're doing the laterals at this point?
No, they're still doing.
No, the line,
They're still doing the main.
yeah. And then the last piece of info, we got cameras installed out in the stall area. So we'll be able to monitor what's going on out there.
Okay.
All right, that's what I've got. Thank you, Mayor.
Just a quick question for Jason. Jason, what's the street sweeper? We have a ETA on it?
We haven't really moved forward with that.
We haven't moved forward.
Oh, no.
No, we have to wait until the grant application period opens, and that's not until after the first of the year.
Okay. And that's with the combined
With
towns?
Peacock, Gladstone, Far Hill, and hopefully Burnsville.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Committeeman Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, all. Board of Health, just a quick reminder, the Board of Health is sponsoring an education program on Wednesday, October 23rd, in person at the Clarence Dillon Public Library from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. The topic is healthy eating and meal planning, and it is being done in concert with the folks from the Rutgers Cooperative Extension. Registration is now open. Cost is $10 a person. You can fill this form out. We'll also get word out on the website via Bedminster Alert and Community Pass, and payment can also be done online. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Committeewoman Moreski.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Just a couple quick things from our EC. Everyone knows about the turtle tunnels that are over on River Road Park. Well, the tunnel barriers are made of wood and they're starting to rot away. So Brian Zarate from New Jersey Department of Fish and
DEP
Fish and Wildlife. He was able to secure a grant and they are buying new fencing for us to put up. Jason has been in touch with Brian. We're just waiting for Brian to get back to us and to see when we'll get the materials and put that up. It is not the prettiest of things. It's a black kind of plastic, but that should last a long time. But the plan is to backfill with dirt and then grasses so that you won't even see it from the road at all. So that's a good thing.
And what's the schedule you're looking at?
We're just waiting for him. I'm waiting. I got a couple calls to him. I haven't heard back from him since our last meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, the last time we spoke with Brian, he had gotten the grant, but I don't think that he was in possession of the materials yet. So he might have to actually go purchase them. So not sure of a timeline. And the other big news was that Liz First from the EC has spent a lot of time and care helping us design a big poster set up at the farmer's market that talks about recycling and what to do, what not to do. Apparently, the county was in favor of educating all our residents because recycling gets a little messy and you can ruin a whole load of recycling if you throw in the wrong thing into your blue bucket. So Liz very kindly put together a whole lot of information. And for anybody who wants to see it, it's in a huge poster at the farmer's market. And at some point soon, Robin will be posting that, I believe, on our website. And it's up already, great. And we'll have flyers or something available for anybody that needs that. And that's all I have.
All right. Committeewoman Fernandez. Gina, you are muted.
I just trying to unmute. Sorry. So I just have a few updates. We had another successful year of Camp Bedminster with session A having a total of 144 children, session B 145, and session C 144. So it was a great year. Our numbers are going up every year now since the pandemic. So that's fantastic. Also, Bedminster Township Fall Fest Community Day, like we discussed before, is Saturday, October 12th from 12 to 5 at River Road Park. And currently vendor and sponsor applications are coming in. So hopefully they continue to come in, and anybody that wants to be a vendor or a sponsor can still contact Neil Mastrobono at the rec department. And just like we mentioned previously, the 2024 Local Recreation Improvement Grant was given to Bedminster Township Rec Department, and we're discussing the Burt Mills Dog Park project at the rec meeting. The location will be placed between the ball fields at Burt Mills Park, and the size is 1 acre. And some of the features that we're discussing are maintenance gate, walking path, 2 airlock gate entries with cement pads, 6 park benches, and waste bag stations. So that's my update for today. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. So since we had our last meeting, there was no land use board meeting. There was we had certainly the meeting on the 1st, but we already reported on that. Farmers market, again, a great day this week. We had 1034.
Absolutely, yep.
So even with a little cloudy day, we still broke 1,000. So that was great to see. No library board meeting this week. JVH will be setting up a meeting to discuss the lease issues coming up. And ag, we've got an ag meeting coming up in September. So right now, August, no tremendous reports from me. And Ms. Ray, go to the administrator's report.
Yes, Mayor. So just a little bit on the community garden while we're waiting for the archaeological study from Hunter Research on putting together the project authorization application, which goes to the State Historic Preservation Office. That goes in conjunction with the Hunter Research findings. Miller Lane Pump Station Project, I met with County Administrator Colleen Marr and the county purchasing agent, just provided them with the project status. I think the meeting went very well. Some good things came out of it. And the project team has actually met, and we hopefully expect to go to bid next month. So that's really good news. And we have a meeting this Wednesday with our EPA contact for the congressionally directed funding portion of the project, just to make sure we have all our ducks in a row with the federal government. Roof projects, the project team has met several times in the past 2 weeks. And again, we also anticipate going to bid with that hopefully in September. Just putting the final points together on the bid package. And then Somerset Hills Public Safety Committee meeting, we had a meeting back on July 8th where everybody discussed the effectiveness of the automated license plate readers. And as a group, we're seeking additional funding by way of grants to purchase them, purchase more for each of the municipal members within the Public Safety Committee. And the next meeting for that is September 12th. Tomorrow we have a Fall Fest and internal Fall Fest project team meeting to review plans, set up activities, public safety, and parking, of course, which is always an issue. Fall Fest is Saturday, October 12th from 12 noon to 5 p.m. And last but not least, Mayor, this week we have on Thursday, we have the Pluckman Streetscape meeting with all the Pluckman business owners and property owners.
Great.
And that concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Chief, we're going to turn to you for the community policing, but before we do, just want to mention the poor weather we had for National Night Out.
Yeah.
A lot of work went into putting that event together, and certainly want to recognize the efforts of Chief Bernardo, Lieutenant Polito, Jason Randolph, and everyone from DPW, and Neil Mastrobuono, and Rack and everyone else from staff who worked hard to set up the tents, set up the vendors, set up the food truck, get the dunk tank going. And I believe Sergeant Cranstein was dunked at least once.
Yeah. Great news.
They were able to get that in. The weather came in before the mayor was able to get dunked. That was on the agenda, courtesy of the chief. So, there's no rain dates for National Night Out, but I certainly want to, thank everyone from my perspective and also on behalf of the Township Committee for all the work that went into that. So Chief and Tom, Jason and Neil, just thank you for all your efforts on that. It's not for naught. And the Burnsville News did pick up on it. So for the about 45 minutes that it was going on, it was reported on. So it's good to see. So Chief, turn it over to you on community policing.
Yes, Mayor. Our Detective Bureau, they finalized their presentation regarding home and vehicle security. They're in the process of contacting the library and the different HOAs to set up some dates for whoever's interested in those types of presentations. And then on September 14th at the Black River Deli, we'll be along with Tewksbury Police having a coffee with the cop session at 8 to 10 a.m. And we're also trying to set up some other dates at different venues as well. And that's all I got.
Great, thank you. So Robin, you reported, let's see. Oh, Somerset Hills Public Safety Committee. We'll come back to that later. Page is over. So that's it. Introduction of ordinances. We have no ordinances to introduce tonight. We do have a public hearing of an ordinance. Take a motion to open up the public hearing for ordinance number 2024-017. This ordinance would amend chapter 7 entitled Traffic, the Bedminster General Ordinances. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. So as we had talked about during the introduction, we've put together an ordinance with Attorney Bellardo in conjunction with our engineer to make Clucas Brook, certainly the majority of Clucas Brook, except with some exceptions, no parking, no stopping, no standing. The purpose of this ordinance is to promote public safety, reduce traffic issues, and also to support the quiet enjoyment for the Bedminster residents, particularly in the Clucas Brook neighborhood. So I'll turn to the Township Committee for comments and questions regarding the ordinance.
None for me.
None?
No.
Okay. We'll, seeing none from Township Committee, we will take public comments on the ordinance. So if you wish to make a public comment on the proposed ordinance, raise your hand, come up to the microphone, we'll need your name and address.
Is it customary to read the ordinance before you have public opinion yet, or no?
No, it's out there.
I'd like to know what the ordinance exactly reads. Can you read it for the public right now? I drove 2 hours to be here for this meeting, so.
Well, thank you for driving. Hey, John, do you have the ordinance in front of you? Bilardo?
I do. There's no requirement, Mayor, to read the entire ordinance by state law. It's been published. It's been on our website. It's now open for public comment.
But I think what we can tell you certainly is that it's very short. It's no stopping or standing on Lucas Brook. There's some provisions for parking dedicated for the library, and it extends on both sides of Lucas Brook. And subject to our existing ordinance, John, it's subject to what? Penalties, fines, and what? Towing?
Towing, Mayor. It's subject to penalty, fines, and towing. There is an area that's dedicated on Lucas Brook to parking for library patrons only, and all of these restrictions, should the ordinance be adopted, will be noted on signs to advise the public of the restrictions against parking and the limit to library patrons only for what the engineer has indicated is approximately 8 spaces.
So once again, if you wish to make a public comment, come on up to the microphone. You're going to need your full name and address.
Good evening. My name is Gregory Duner. I'm at 101 Veterans Boulevard, Waretown, New Jersey. I have concerns because you guys, I'm not saying you, I'm not pointing anybody out, but this ordinance just comes out of thin air, because I'd like to know who, okay, what safety, what public safety are we taking away from the public? The reason I believe why we're here all tonight is because for whatever reason, there seems to be an angst about people expressing their opinion publicly. And from what I gather, that's legal still. But now you guys are trying to prevent us from gathering by making it an ordinance saying that you can't park somewhere that's been already, people been parking there with no problem for over the years. All of a sudden now this becomes an issue. I drive 2 hours just to come here to show my support for my president. Okay, I'm not here to, create waves. I'm just here to wave flags. That's all I want to do. I just want to stand and be an American and just stand for what I believe. And I can't drive 2 hours and then not have a place to park my car on a public street just wave flags. That's all I have to, I don't have a question for you guys other than to say, I appeal for your better nature. We're all Americans. We're all on the same tide, whether any political sense, besides that, we're all humans. We're all together on this. That's all I ask. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for driving up.
Could you just repeat your last name and spell it for me?
David, O-O-N-E-R.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Terry Beck. I live in Hillsborough, New Jersey. I also work with the Trump administration to vet people. I've conducted rallies at the corner for 6.5 years. No problems, no issues. I have followed every order from retired Chief Carl Rock, also for Chief Bernardo. We have worked together several times. I've texted them. Everything's in compliance. We are law-abiding, following, tax-paying citizens. However, this is putting a big monkey wrench into the respect level that we not only have for the person or persons stirring up the guilty party, dictating orders to law enforcement to break their oath, violate our rights and civil rights. And by the way, the ACLU is now involved with this because they feel, what are you doing? I said, we have a perfect record. Officer Joe Dugan just said that to me the other day. Furthermore, on top of everything, I witnessed right before my eyes, August 17th at 8:07 a.m., parked at 2345 Leamington Road, Medical Associates. Watch the cops lay out the orange cones, lay them out. At 1:42 PM, while I left, what happens? They remove them. Now, my retired correctional officers and my bounty hunters and my biker club now suspect that this is all against us. It's ongoing harassment. It's unnecessary. Probably political persecution, and there's probably, like everything, like the government we currently have, paid operatives, benefits, or anger that they can't express, so they want to stop what? Their enemy. They have control of their eyes. We don't pose an argument. The amount of time we spend on the street is what? 2 minutes. Unload the car, we're gone. I've spoken to the sheriff twice. I just had an hour and a half conversation with the prosecutor. They all know the story. We have no criminal record. I vet people to get on the Trump's golf course. So I have nothing behind my name. These guys don't either. They are diehard people to save America. We do nothing wrong. I have said several times, if the law enforcement, if you get complaints, I need to see them. I have filed 4 times Oprah requests. There was a tall officer. No. Oh yeah. What's your name? What's your address? I gave it. Did I get anything? Did I get a call? No. Where are they? Are these made up complaints? I need them for our lawyers in New York City, because this is going to get to the point where it's going to get so out of control. I can't help but say anybody that's involved is either an accomplice to the crime, enablers of the crime, associated with the crime, or they're behind the crime. So I'm just trying to give you heads up warning, because I've talked several hours to a lot of people. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago, I talked to Sheriff Darren Russo. He wanted to know who did it. Oh yeah, my name. He loves it. If I had him here with me tonight, his exact words were, "Terry, I'm so happy you called." He goes, "I see you. My wife and I drive to North Jersey. We wave our small flags. Of course, you don't know what I look like, but I will tell you, we are behind you. Tell everybody at that rally, all of your peacefully assembly, tell them thank you from the bottom of the sheriff's heart. Don't ever stop." Now, if I have him here and he would take an oath, he's actually fulfilling his oath. There are people breaking their oath, and I need to know where to turn everybody in who's breaking oaths. That's all I have to say. I can go on and on. I have lots of stuff. I've talked to lawyers. I'm going to law school, and I'm in contact right now with several people up on the chain. I can't say anything more than I need explanation. U.S. Marshal that I personally know are all involved.
Thank you, Ms. Beck.
All right, up to you guys. Ball's in your court.
Name and address.
Edward McGuinn, Middlesex County, New Jersey, Woodbridge Township. I'd like to know, you folks, did you or did you not take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States when you assumed your offices? Yes or no?
Do you have a public comment to make?
I'm asking you a question.
Do you have a public?
Because
if you
are trampling on the rights and the First Amendment to the
I'm
Constitution.
going to ask you to sit down.
No, I will not sit down. I have a right to speak. You're not answering my. Are you telling me you didn't take an oath to uphold the Constitution?
You do not have the right to ask questions and get answers.
Oh, I don't.
You do not.
Oh, gee. Well, then I guess I could just speak.
You could just speak.
Well, first of all, this learned counsel is in violation of the First Amendment to this U.S. Constitution. You are standing in the way of freedom of assembly and freedom of speech. And as far as I'm concerned, there is no problem on that road for parking. And if anybody tells you that, I'm going to tell them they're a fool, because I drove a fire engine for 30 years, and I can turn that engine around with those cars parked there. So please don't tell me and try to sell me that there's a problem. When we park those cars, everybody is quiet and moves to the corner. There's no making anybody any problem. There's no houses on that side of the street. And we only park on one side of the street. Now, I like to know, which you won't answer me, but I'm putting it out there, is what was the emergency? Since the emergency started at 8 o'clock in the morning on the 17th, and then when these people left at 1:30, the emergency was over with and all the cones came down. That sounds like political violation of our rights. And you should be ashamed of yourself. You should all be ashamed of yourself that you are standing in the way of patriots. You know what? There's an old adage. You could sit there and you could look and you don't want to answer me. But that old adage, it says, it's better to keep your mouth shut and let people think that you're a moron than to open it up and prove them right.
Thank you for your comment.
Deborah McGuinn, constitutional patriot, Woodbridge Township, New Jersey. First of all, I'd just like to reiterate or concur with my husband. We have been engaged in a lot of different rallies and stuff on both sides of the aisle. We try to do what's right. We live by the golden rule. We help our neighbors and we clean up after our rallies. We've never had a problem anywhere we went across the tri-state area. All right, I and my patriots see this all as bullying, personal and political persecution and harassment, plain and simple. It is for a few select people who I'd like to be able to face these accusers of what the real problem is here, because it's only done during a certain amount of hours. Okay, and besides infringing on free speech, the First Amendment, remember, our taxes also help pay for the roads. None of the money is earmarked with a specific name for a specific part of the state. We do pay for those roads as well. So we should be able to park there as long as we aren't blocking the roads, which we don't do any of that, okay? We park correctly. We try to be accommodating and obliging. Now, a precedent has been set for the 6+ years and all of a sudden it's deemed a problem. That seems kind of hokey to me. What's really behind all this? We'd also, like I said, we'd like to face our accusers. Why is it suddenly a problem? Like, if the noise is such an issue, then use a calibrated decibel noise device like they do for the trains where we live. The people have been fighting that for a number of years, but unless it reaches a certain level, it's not deemed a problem. So that could be a study that's done here too. If you really want to prove your side of the coin, then prove that to us and make it available to us so that we understand. We want to be able to work with everybody. We understand it was a nice, quiet little community, but things change, just like we're always told. Things change. You got to get used to it. Well, I'm saying the same thing. It works both ways. Okay? I don't fringe on anybody else's rights. I don't expect it done to us. Golden rule. Keep that in mind. So unless the noise can be detrimental, and most times it's not because of the distance from where these things, I can't stop people from beeping, okay? And furthermore, from where we are at, there shouldn't be a problem there. Most people are in their AC with windows shut. Trust me, I don't have AC, but with my windows shut, because we come from an area with a lot of noise, we don't hear it. So why is it people with how many blocks away they are suddenly deem it a problem from what we're understanding? Now, let's all work together and do what's right and not infringe on our constitutional rights. Dear patriots, stand up.
Thank you, Ms. McGuinn.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Margaret Longo, Chester, New Jersey. I didn't expect to be speaking today, but I feel like I need to. Regarding safety, whoever is saying that there's a problem with safety along with us parking along that road, it's a bigger safety issue if we have to park elsewhere and cross Lamington or cross 206. And I would also like to mention maybe the people who are instigating this wanting to make another ordinance ordinance that would make it hard for us to park right along the library there, which is so easy to get out of your car, walk to the corner. And I also have to comment the noise issue too. There's trucks that go up and down the road with braking and all sorts of things. So cars honking on and off for a couple hours is not a real big deal. In the grand scheme of things, because it's not like we're out there every single day. There's regarding the safety also, please just give me a minute. I would like to mention that maybe the people who have put forth this change of ordinance should be listed, their name, their address, where they live, and maybe if anybody of us does happen to run into a problem having to park elsewhere and get to the corner, that maybe they should be held accountable in some way for that, because they're wanting us to move a safe parking place right along the library and have to move elsewhere.
Thank you for your comment, Ms. Longo.
Good evening, y'all. Vinny Balducci from Hillsborough, New Jersey, and speaking before you all, the board. My organization, New Jersey Flaggers, in addition to another organization, the New Jersey Sons of Confederate Veterans, have had several events at the corner where this proposed, amendment would impact. Every time we went up there, we had a wonderful group of people with us. We worked with the local law enforcement. They were very kind. We made sure to always reciprocate that. We always stressed, mutual respect. We followed the protocol. We never parked in the library. I've been attending multiple rallies since about 2020. Again, we always followed the rules, parking along the road. It was never an issue. There was no obstruction. We never ever parked in the library. There were times where we would go up there for our rally and there would be some stuff on the ground. We would always clean it up. I'd bring trash bags. We left the area in a lot better, place that it was. We'd always document it too, just in case word would get back that, it was left a mess. This ordinance would negatively impact potentially businesses, because every time we had events, we would always stress the importance of supporting the community as a way of thanking the community for having us there. We would support local businesses in Bedminster, as well as the sister community of Bridgewater. And we were there the entire time last summer without an issue. I did notice about 2 years ago, we had problems with the grass not being mowed. We still managed to work with it. And please consider this, ordinance. It would be a violation of USC 42, section 1983, and violates Amendment 1 and 4. Thank you for your time, and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Balducci.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Caitlin Cother. I formerly used to be a resident of Bedminster, and I am expressing my concerns about this ordinance because I feel as if that this is political interference. I also am expressing my concerns because we've never created an issue there. We thoroughly enjoy having people show support for our president. And he obviously chose Bedminster to spend the majority of his summers. And the fact that he has people that support him at the corner, that you're trying to interfere with just putting forth an ordinance to not allow people to lawfully park is, in my opinion, disgraceful. I have thoroughly enjoyed going out there and meeting people who are like-minded, because as we all know right now, the party's very divided. And I am sure that a lot of people in this audience will agree with me that things like these are why the party gets divided. Everybody here is an elected Republican, and you run under the line of Donald J. Trump, and you are literally putting us in a position where we cannot support him in his neighborhood. Okay, there's no issue. We have not had any interference with the police at all whatsoever. I'm not quite sure why this is happening. Nobody here has ever even wanted to have a conversation. And I have spoken to people who have put forth these peaceful assemblies to even have a conversation with you guys, because I've learned the hard way. Okay. There's no point in, excuse me. Thank you. I've always encouraged anyone who has wanted to have an event at the corner to have an open conversation. And I think that's the transparency that we're seeking, okay? We're not here to create a problem. We're here simply to express our concerns. We wish that we were able to come forth and speak with you guys sooner. However, there have been other, notices sent, cease and desist letters. I'm not quite sure when all we're trying to do is exercise our First Amendment rights. And the fact that you guys are Republicans and are supposed to be on our side, it's making it very confusing for a lot of people here this evening, because we're also feeling that you guys really aren't supporting the president by doing this to us when you're an elected official under the Republican Party, which is why all this division is starting in the first place. And I don't like conflict. I don't want anybody to have conflict. And to know that this has gotten to this point when I know one of the elected officials lives in the neighborhood in which this ordinance is wanting to be passed, seems as if it's only for one person's benefit here on the committee. So I have the nerve to say it. I have some of my people that times that I would assume are friends, because we have peacefully gathered under the same values. And I hope that your values would not be interfered if you were doing something like this. So put the shoe on the other foot. Please understand where we're coming from. I would really wholeheartedly hope that you are listening to us and not just going through the motions, because we're Republicans too. And we're Americans also, and we want our rights protected. But when things like this are happening, it makes us put in a very uncomfortable situation where we don't feel like our values and our, their values matter at all. And like Terry just said, disrespect. We haven't created a problem. We don't want a problem. We just want to go and meet with people who actually are happy to find somebody like-minded, because we all know that the past few years, a lot of people have been suffering and, they've been persecuted for their political values. And we feel now we're on that receiving end.
Thank you, Ms. Cother.
Ms. Coker, can you tell me your current address? I need your current address. I'm sorry.
Manville, New Jersey.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, see no other hands coming up.
Hi, my name is Hank Mardukas, 47 Highland Avenue, Peapack, Gladstone. Seems like this bill that you guys are going to present is going to do more detriment than it's going to do good to protect safety. Donald Trump told us not to stop fighting. I take that literally. You guys want to make a bill that's going to shut this thing down and make it harder for us to do what we're going to do? We're going to find other legal ways to do it. And when we're driving in front of your houses with our flags, and you have to look at us, not just on Saturdays, but every day of the week. And you guys have all been to the rally. You all drive up and down the street. You know how many people have been there? Hundreds. And they come from out of state. You could either just let us be on a corner, us Neanderthal Trump supporters, right? You could just let us be on a corner and let us speak what we want for the next 2 months. Or we can do it legally throughout the entire town, multiple towns. And I'm sure that when people find out when this bill goes through and they can't go on that corner anymore, they're going to be pissed. And everybody is going to independently and autonomously take it upon themselves to right this wrong. So think about what you are doing, because you're going to waken a sleeping monster in this town. And there's a lot of Republicans that live here that will let us park in their lots and in their driveways. And I don't think you want bearded, bald-headed Trump guys like me walking up and down your liberal neighborhoods, waving our flags, going to that corner. So that's all I have to say. Think. Trump derangement syndrome. It is a real thing. Have a good day. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Margulies.
Hi, my name is Donna Curtis. I live in Timberbrook in Bedminster. And all I was going to say is since we should have open communication always, I'm just wondering, isn't there anything else that can be done as far as if we really can't park on Clucas Road or the AT&T parking lot or across the street? Perhaps someone in the town can suggest maybe we need to park at River Park. Maybe we can park here at the town, maybe the train station. I don't know where. And then, we can shuttle each other to the corner. I'm just wondering if there's any other options or suggestions that we could work together, at least in the interim, while we're trying to figure out if we really need this amendment to the ordinance. That's all I'm thinking, is that there's maybe some other way we can work together so that people can assemble and get there safely. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Greedy. Ms. Greedy. Before you up, are there any other comments before we go again with Ms. Beck? Yes, in the back. And name and address.
Andy Chang, 1 Jordana Court here in Bedminster. So I just wanted to voice my support for the proposed ordinance. So I am actually a resident of the neighborhood to which this ordinance would apply. I'm also the father of 3 young children. And one of their favorite activities is to ride to the Clarence Dillon Library and back home with new books in hand. So speaking of cycling, Clucas Brook Road is also an access road to the popular Bedminster hike and bike trail. And we see cyclists, pass by very frequently. So having cycled in urban areas, there's 2 safety issues that concern me when I see a long line of cars parked back to back on the street. So first, the parked vehicles impede visibility of patrons, in this case, as they enter and exit the library driveway. Less of an issue if you're in a big vehicle, but not so safe when you're a small child leaving the library on a bicycle. Secondly, this is what I noticed, okay? So secondly, the danger is also being doored, where a driver or passenger inadvertently opens their vehicle door in the path of a cyclist approaching from behind. You laugh, but it's happened several times when I cycle, okay? So with that said, we support the council's effort via this ordinance to maintain the safety of residents and visitors to our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chang. Once again.
Really? Really? Did you just say that?
Look at me. What, are you looking at me?
I am looking at you. Did you just say that?
Somebody else. No, I didn't say
Put a
that.
name to it if you want to say things like that, or better yet, leave.
Yeah, I'll leave. That's a good.
You want to say go back to China? You can leave.
Nazi sons of
You-
guns, okay?
I'm not going to listen to that.
I don't give a crap, you're gonna hear it, okay? Listen to this. You guys are all a bunch of Nazi sons of guns, and this.
You
here
can
is
step
the
out.
of- You let me understand.
Then you can leave and you can stay. Go back to China. Give me a break. You don't come into my chambers and attack my residents like that. Sit down.
Right by your house.
You can sit.
Mr. Sadler, you have a comment?
I'll see you later, Mr. Steve.
Yeah, okay, pal. Yeah.
Good evening,
Shameful
everyone.
what your cohort says against to one of my residents. How dare you guys come in here? And then he hits this here and says something you don't like. So you're going to throw barbs from the side. That is not civil discourse. Unacceptable. I heard a whole bunch of stuff from over here.
Stevenson, we have someone who's ready to make a public comment. We have someone ready to make a public comment. Jim.
And if you didn't pass this bill, we wouldn't be here.
Shut your mouth.
Jim. Committeeman Stevenson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jim Stapmuller. I'm from 2300 Lamington Road, across Clucas Brook Road from the library. No one has had the quiet enjoyment of their property impacted more by the township established free speech zone than I have. For the last 8 years, my Saturday mornings have been routinely disrupted by rowdy out-of-towners from both sides of the political aisle who have no regard for my neighborhood. Their gatherings are often centered around provoking the blaring of horns from the Route 206 intersection for several hours. However, their gatherings have included amplified music, chanting from bullhorns, and boisterous and sometimes vulgar arrivals and departures on Clucas Brook Road. Although most of these disturbances occur on Saturday morning, their timing is unpredictable. This has personally impacted me several times, most notably disrupting my granddaughter's baptism. During the depths of the COVID pandemic, when churches were closed, I arranged to have my granddaughter baptized in the backyard of my home at 2300 Lamington Road. I scheduled it for late Saturday afternoon because the Saturday rowdiness is usually done by lunchtime. However, on this day, the demonstrators decided to make it an all-day affair, so the sacred moments of my granddaughter's baptism included protesters yelling audible profanities about their political opponent. So I encourage you to pass this ordinance, and I applaud your efforts to make this weekly disturbance less convenient to all involved. I'm sure you realize this is just another chapter in the saga. After the no parking signs and traffic cones were erected on Clucas Brook Road last week, the protesters moved their rendezvous to the medical office building and gas station across Lamington Road prior to trespassing on the property now occupied by AT&T. However, more needs to be done to control the noise disturbance. It surely must be a violation to hang "honk for my guy" signs on the directional signal poles of Route 206 and Lamington Road. I implore the Township Committee to explore all remedies to eliminate this noise pollution and restore the quiet enjoyment that every Bedminster neighborhood deserves.
Thank you, Mr. Satmuller. Are there any further comments from anyone else who hasn't spoke?
Good evening. My name's Ed Pape. I live in Netcon, New Jersey. You know, I'm just going to put it like another example. Like where I live, it's summertime. And every week you hear somebody's having a barbecue, they're blasting music. None of the neighbors call up the police or nothing. I mean, it's America. People are celebrating. And I mean, that's where I live. I hear music, barbecues, and I just let people live, you know, and enjoy life. I mean, and then, yeah, there's times, geez, I shut the windows. Boy, it's loud out there today, you know. But that's just life. That's just me, you know. I don't know. You know, I mean, if I wanted peace and quiet, I guess I'll move in the middle of North Dakota somewhere. You know, I don't know what to say. That's just my opinion. I'm hearing this and I'm like, it's not the end of the world because your granddaughter, I mean, it's, you know, we all want peace and quiet, but geez, you can't always have it. That's where I live, but I can't, you know, I don't let the little things in life bother me, you know. Life's too short.
Thank you, Mr. Pepe.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Ms. Beck, you're writing notes down?
Yep, I got lots to say. First thing is, I want to let you know, all right, I respect everybody's opinion. The guy was here talking about the bicycle and the safety, which the road is very wide and we've measured several times. We know the width of a car, we know where traffic goes down. Now, instead of parking there, when we park across the street, who I talked to the manager, the property manager, Lori, I had a good, nice discussion with her. She has no problem. So that's not going to it's not going to stop us from doing anything. We're not doing anything wrong. So now the issue becomes, like I told the prosecutor, now the issue is safety walking across the street. So now we just made a simple issue of safety, parking along the street, following what we're supposed to park, where we're not supposed to park. Simple as that, but now we have to walk across the street and pose a bigger liability. That's number one. Number two, I need to see the complaints that have been told to me and the bikers all along for these 6.5 years. I need those in writing. I got it from my U.S. Marshal that said to me, Terry, that everything has ever said to you has to be documented. I need it because now it's going to get to the point where it's going to escalate and escalate. And I don't know how far it's going to escalate because this is a simple matter. As you heard, everybody's civil, very understandable, very respectful, but we're getting disrespected. And when it's not equal like that, it kind of changes your opinion about how the country is run in general on every level and who represents what. Are they really for the people or are you against the people? And that's the thing. We pay everybody's taxes. We're taxpayers. We pay your salary. So we would expect that all government officials on every level would help us out, not hinder us. He may not like the bicycle thing. Hey, I don't like that billboard. Who do we go? Where do I go to turn him in? You have control of your eyes. There's no harm in it. If it was such a bad hazard or such a criminal event or action on our behalf, we would have been arrested and dead by 6.5 years ago. The bikers and I put people on the spot. We questioned them. Maybe they don't like our questions. They had no answers, but obviously they know everything. The hate came from Mr. James Gervin, who lives on 1115 Route 28 in North Branch, 2 blocks from the college. Him and Stacy Gregg both have partnered up against me and the bikers. They didn't know the bikers because the bikers are very hardcore. They don't play games. Ask a question. Since you know it, then answer it. They didn't. And my name got turned in. I have nothing to do with it. I talked 20 minutes to Carl Rock. He hit it off. He loved me. He goes, Terry, I don't find anything confrontational about you. What are they yelling about? I go, it's because they have the mental processing order. There's a disorder that they can't connect. So if the complaints are coming from the citizens or the liberal side, I need to know that for the lawyers that I'm speaking to. Because I got several people on high chain that want answers from me. And if I can't get the answers and the actual direct parties, and I told that to an officer on the 17th, I need the first and last name of the person or persons filing the complaint, and I need to know it because it has to be in the hands of my lawyers and my people that I'm working with under Judge Janine's bodyguards. I have a lot of people because I'm with the Trump administration. It's a very powerful movement for me, but I don't want to fight. I comply. And that's the thing. I'm trying to prevent any kind of uncivil stuff going on. And Lori, you know what? Lori, the property manager, after she met me, she's like, I like you. Because I'm a civil person. I try to work with people. And she says, Terry, anytime. I go, no, Lori, here's the deal. I scoped your parking lot out just to see what I could do to remedy it for us. Because I said, in the beginning, I didn't know what we were going to do. And I thought, you know what? Fine. I'm going to try to check out local business. I'm a previous AT&T employee. By some chance, just tonight, I met a lady. She goes, oh, I want to join you guys. And it turns out she's a previous AT&T employee. You know what she said? She goes, Terry, here's my name and number. You park in the parking lot under my name. So I just got, it was like heaven sent. She gave me her name and number. She wants to come with us. And now she gave me permission. So Lori just gave me permission on Saturday. So it's sad that we have to inconvenience doctors now. The whole thing is just so discombobulated. It's just really like a mess when it doesn't have to be. If the people that are complaining, if so to speak, it is that whole entire area over there with all the people down the street. If it really is them, why didn't they buy a home in a gated community? After all, the public library was there way before they were. That's a new development. So if you really want, it's just like the Green Knoll Grill. The people that bought houses across the street, they were complaining about noise and the bar license was going to get taken. Same stuff. So if it's that big of a deal, why didn't they do the logistics before buying a house? The library was there a long time ago.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Beck.
All right, I could go on and on because, I've asked for a decibel reader. That's what per police academy.
We heard you.
Per police academy says, I need this, and I've never got it.
Take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
So we'll go into deliberation. Attorney Bellardo, John.
Yes, Mayor, how are you?
So you've heard the comments from tonight. Any concerns about the drafting or enforcement of the ordinance based upon the arguments and comments that were made by the public?
None, Mayor.
Chief Bernardo, any comments or questions? Once again, similar to Attorney Bellardo's question regarding enforcement of the ordinance.
No, sir.
Okay. So open up to Township Committee for comments and your thoughts about the no parking on Clucas Brook ordinance. Committeeman Stevenson.
my comment is that much of the comments that we received are sort of apples to oranges from this. Nowhere in this ordinance does it say where you can or cannot congregate. Nowhere in this ordinance does it say where you can and cannot come together and exercise your right to free speech. This is completely unrelated to what you're referring to. So I would just, that much of the comments here are simply, I don't want to say uninformed, but perhaps you're uninformed. You're talking about rights to get to a spot that you have no right to occupy. I'm not getting into it. It has nothing to do with this. River Road certainly is available. There's a ton of other places that one can go to express their right of free speech. I don't see as this is being completely independent of that. So I don't see this ordinance as affecting any right to free speech or any right to congregate.
Committeeman Hickey, Committeewoman Reski, Committeewoman Fernandez, comments, thoughts?
I just agree with Doug that this is nothing to do with stopping anybody's right to free speech. We certainly do encourage that. I mean, we have everybody here to tell us their opinions, and we really appreciate that everybody came and shared it with us. But the parking is a completely separate issue. And we're taking care of our neighbors as well.
Okay. So so Gina, do you have anything you want to add?
No, Mayor, I have no comments.
Okay, thank you. So just to further up on what Doug had mentioned, there's nothing political. There's no one side on this ordinance. Certainly been out to the library multiple times, observing the rallies. I've also been out there observing other rallies on the other side, and I've expressed to the police. I think this is, fairly common that there's been groups that are cooperative with our police, and there are groups that have not been so cooperative or sensitive to the neighbors or sensitive to folks who are driving by with different political opinions. There's been certainly a sentiment from within that neighborhood, and I've heard the noise, and it's not just 100 yards. That noise from that intersection asking for the cars honking goes all the way across just about a mile. I mean, we've certainly heard it going down 202, going down 206 and into those neighborhoods. But I certainly understand that the residents who've been there and have dealt with the parking issues, the congregation issues on that street, which was not set up for this. I certainly am sensitive to them, and I think we've always said from the very beginning that our role up here is to support Bedminster residents. So this ordinance, in my mind, supports the residents in the Clucasbrook neighborhood. With that, I'll no further comments from my side. Take a
Just to tag on that one point is that for each of you who are here in opposition and you say, well, I'm here from A to B, that's true. But how about the next wave of folks that feel politically different than you? Then they're on the next wave and then another wave. So it's not just your wave, it's a consistent wave that's going. And so it goes back.
Yeah. And I certainly, the references that Ms. Beck made to those two others, we're certainly familiar with those generations as well. The generation of noise and attitude towards Bedminster, to the police, to the residents. Once again, you cannot put a political thumb on gatherings, and so we don't. With that, take a motion to approve the ordinance. That ordinance, make this 2024-017.
We have to close the discussion.
Well, we closed the public hearing.
We did.
We did.
We closed.
We closed.
We closed, we took a vote. Yeah.
Close.
Some of the drives by and love, political figures that are not, you know. There's people from everywhere, we don't have a choice in what they do, even if all. Gonna get off.
So,
Yeah.
Second.
so moved. We have a second.
There'll be a roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
Mayor Jacob.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 items on the consent agenda. These are items of a routine nature. Any committee person may call for any resolution to be called out and considered separately. Seeing none, take a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote again, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
We've run resolution for individual consideration, resolution 2024-112, authorizing a local matching funds for the EPA grant for the Miller Lane Pump Station. Ms. Ray, or Jason, do you want to take that?
Actually, I can take it.
Okay.
If you don't mind. So Mayor, part of one of the requirements for the EPA grant, which is a congressionally directed spending, is that Bedminster Township puts forth a 20% cash match. This identifies and appropriates the 20% cash match, which is also going to be contributed by the Borough of Far Hills and the Borough of Peapack Gladstone, our partners in the project.
Any questions for Ms. Ray regarding the pump station? Now, you talked before that you're ready to go to public bid.
We are next month.
Issues with New Jersey American Water have already been resolved.
They are what they are, and there's no getting out of this contract at this time. We just delayed the project.
So we're gonna have we're gonna maintain that giant tank basin there.
That's correct.
It's gonna have to get rebuilt.
But we did speak with Colleen Muller, and there's some additional funding there.
There's some additional funding coming in. Okay. Comments or questions regarding resolution 2024-112 regarding the pump station?
Nope.
Nope. Seeing none, take a motion to approve 2024-112.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Take a motion to approve the bill list pending review of individual invoices.
Moved. Second.
Roll call vote again, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Any items for consideration under new business? None? None? None. Old business. DOT improvements. Apropos of tonight's ordinance, reaching out to DOT to make the pedestrian access across 206 a little more time to make to create a little safety out there. I just sent a follow-up to Meredith Hammond at DOT just on, what was that, Saturday or Sunday night? Once again, asking to get confirmation whether DOT has already or will extend the timing for the pedestrian cross. Yet to hear back from Meredith. We will continue to follow up. Chief, I copied you, and Robin, I copied you on that as well.
Yes, thank you.
Utilities. So, wow. Where to start? More power outages in Bedminster, sunny day outages, rainy day outages, wind outages. I reached out to my liaison at the governor's office, who put me in touch not with our local JCP&L representative, but the statewide JCP&L representative. Arranged for a conference call with Committeeman Hickey and Robin. and we had an extensive conversation with him. We are expecting, what's the document called? Reliability report to go back. What do we say, 18 months?
Yes, correct. That's what we
18 months. So we
requested. Yep.
typically do 12 months. We said, look, you gotta go back further. This is unacceptable for residents. Knollcrest, what was it, just last week, had about 24 hours of outages.
It was over 24 hours, and it was the fourth outage to affect those residents in over a month. And they had a total of 41 hours of downtime in the last month for a select group of residents there. It's unacceptable, as the mayor said.
So you got the opportunity to elevate the complaint higher up within JCP&L. We're expecting to hear back this week. We'll be setting up another phone call with him and their local liaison as well. So with that, Committeeman Hickey, I'll turn it over to you for further wonderful news about Jason.
How do I follow that? Well, I will do the recap of the Knollcrest outage since it was the most egregious of recent times. It began on Friday, August 19th, was not resolved until noon on Saturday, the 10th. About 20 homes were impacted. It was caused by a failed primary line. Those are lines that interconnect transformers. It's particularly upsetting because there was another primary failure in this very same neighborhood about a month earlier. Had that original failure been permanently fixed at that point, as opposed to a temporary patch being applied, the latest outage would not have been anywhere near as long. As I mentioned, there have been 4 outages totaling 41 hours of downtime for those Knollcrest residents. This is on top of all the other outages we've experienced this summer, beginning, as you may recall, Mayor, on a rainy Memorial Day Monday, where I think you and I spent the better part of 6 or 7 hours trying to get folks back online after 2 separate power outages impacting the route up to, the line on 206. I will state that JCP&L was consciously making operations and maintenance decisions that may optimize their financials, but they are being done at the expense of our residents. Not only an inconvenience factor, but there's spoiled food, there's lost wages, there's lost productivity. These are not acts of God. These are not storm-related outages. These are not due to the ever-elusive squirrel. These are management decisions of when, where, and how to invest in infrastructure and maintenance. We are not the power company. We do not control those decisions, but Mayor, as you just indicated, we can clearly exercise our influence. We've done so in the past, and we will do so again. And
yeah, and one of the things that we did ask for is to bring a JCP&L representative to a township committee meeting. Crowd might be angrier than tonight's.
Yes.
And not just to have the government liaison person, but actually to bring engineers who can talk about why things are happening.
Right.
And more importantly, what's going to be done and when it's going to be done to fix those issues.
Right.
So we've talked about this with I'm blanking on Bob Flynn, who's our local government liaison, and we had that conversation as well with the state representative, and they said that they will target September
16th.
Was it the 16th?
16th, which is our second meeting in September.
So we'll be looking at September 16th to bring some JCP&L reps in. Once that is confirmed, we will have it noted on the website. So please stay tuned for that. Okay. Any other utility, whether Altice or NJW?
No Altice, no NJW.
Okay. I'm going to ask this question, even though I think I know the answer. Pluckman Park Housing, Doug and John, is there anything you can say in public?
No.
No, Mayor.
Okay, Somerset Hills Public Safety Committee. So there was a call with the mayors and some of the police chiefs. Robin, that was what? Was that last week?
Yes, it was.
That was last week. I was unable to make that call. There is another call coming up. Robin did report back to me on the issues that were raised. And one of the issues that was suggested, I'm not sure which mayor raised this, was actually bringing to the league, the New Jersey League of Municipalities at the convention to run a program on car thefts and what municipalities can do and what they are doing. And perhaps on the other side, what they can't or shouldn't do. So I, even though I wasn't there, I think this fell on my shoulders to reach out to the league to suggest this as a topic for the November convention. So I will be sending an email out to the president of the New Jersey League of Municipalities to throw that out there. Robin, was there anything else during the Public Safety Committee meeting?
Just that we are seeking funding opportunities for additional ALPRs throughout the different member municipalities since they're working so well.
Okay, so ALPRs are the automated
Automated
license plate readers. So those are the cameras that will identify whether or not a car that's associated with an incident. It could be a stolen car, it could be a car that's wanted in connection with criminal or illegal activity, sends an alert out to the local police. Local police can then send units in to investigate and assess. So some of our surrounding towns are moving forward with that. And I am hopeful that within the next month or so that we will be moving forward on license plate reader purchases. We'll leave that to Chief Bernardo and Robin to go find the best deal, as they always do. And that's it for those reports on old business. Township Committee comments. By the way, we have no executive session. If we want to hide in the back room, anyone, or all of us, we don't have that opportunity. So we'll go through Township Committee comments, then we will adjourn for the evening. Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. I didn't have any comments, but given tonight, I think I need to say a few things. So forgive me, I'm just ad-libbing here, but I thought it was a good example of what our role is here. Yeah, we're elected by the public, but we're elected by the residents of Bedminster. And while it's true that the five of us are all on the same side of the political equation, we are not driven by, nor will we ever be driven by political reasons. Okay, there aren't Republican or Democratic potholes in town. Okay. The idea that someone's going to come into this chambers and be disrespectful and threaten us and tell us to just let them do what they want to do because it's the easiest path, that's not going to fly with me. It's not going to fly with you guys. And I hope that the folks that sit in these chairs after me, it won't fly with them. Thank you to each of our residents that came out and withstood the kindergarten behavior of these folks. Thank you for letting us know your beliefs and your experiences. It's an incredibly myopic view of the world that a lot of those folks have. And while I appreciate their desire and their desire to get out and have their political beliefs heard, there's nothing that we did today that impedes that or affects that, in my view. And what we're doing is making sure that the residents over there in the Lucasbrook neighborhood get some relief here. And so forgive me for blowing my top, but I'm not going to sit here and listen to someone who's already been given the floor say something so repugnant to my existence to a member of our own town. If what I did tonight was wrong by saying him to get the hell out of here, then I'll take my punishment like a man, but I'm not going to have that in my chambers. That is complete crap. I want to hear what everybody has to say. If you don't agree with what I want to do, that's fine. Get up there on the dais and tell me that I'm wrong. But you're going to disrespect someone, and you're going to disrespect a resident, and you're not a resident, you can leave. That's all I got.
Thank you. Committeeman Hickey.
That's a hard act to follow, but I will say, Mayor, that while I always appreciate public comments, as Committeeman Stevenson said, we are here to serve our residents. And they're not to be disrespected, they're not to be talked over, they're not to be ridiculed. And that was a poor demonstration we saw tonight over several individuals who expressed their opinions, but then decided to argue with the opinions or the rights of our own residents. And that's not to be stood for. Mayor, that's all I have, and I appreciate all those who stood and spoke tonight, particularly our residents here in Bedminster, because as Committeeman Stevenson said, we're here for you folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Committeewoman Mareski.
I can't follow that except to say that I agree with both the gentlemen and I appreciate everybody coming out and saying what they had to say on either side of the conversation. But it was definitely one side was being respectful and listening to one side and the other side was just not. And that's not the way we run things here in Bedminster.
Thank you. Committeewoman Fernandez.
Thank you, Mayor. I just agree with everyone's comments that, it's very important to be respectful, especially of our residents. And on Township Committee, we do pride ourselves in doing what's best for all of our residents. And it's not political at all. And I'm glad that our residents came out and voiced their opinion about the complaints that they were having. And I hope that everything remains respectful for them as well. So that's all. Have a good night. Thank you.
Good, thank you. So from my perspective, once again, Doug, no apologies. No apologies. None are necessary. In fact, do it again if the opportunity comes up. There were a couple comments about Chief Rock and the fact that had this been originally established and sanctioned and at one point certainly was set up in the wake of President Trump's election. That was 8 years ago. And at the time it was protesters against the president. For several years it was. And the neighborhood put up with it. The parking, the queuing of vehicles for the People's Motorcade Brigade or whatever it was called, lining up. Certainly that neighborhood has put up with a lot for a very long time. There has been, once again, we look back and go, you know what? We don't own that property. This is not part of Bedminster Township. We don't have the opportunity to give a thumbs up or thumbs down on gatherings there. So Attorney Bellardo sent the letter out saying, you know what? You were certainly not there with imprimatur of the township. So therefore, you can be present at your own risk. That you're subject to the property owners saying, get off or not. But it's certainly without local government authority to be there. So having said that, okay, so they didn't like that answer. Number of names and threats were lobbed at both Attorney Bellardo and me as well. And okay.
By the way.
Oh, and you?
Still on the record, we are.
Okay.
I was told to move as the social walking at it. So I'm expecting.
I did hear that.
I'm expecting you guys to keep a close eye on 2300 Lamington Road and me.
Our police are, I'm sure that Sergeant Veltri is aware.
It's so they're out there.
Yeah.
And they are who they are.
But when we look at what we did, right, and we were accused of being liberals or being accused of anti-Trumpers and being accused of not a lot of other things out here, and probably worse outside. We have to stand up for our residents. We do not have to abide or promote the gatherings at this property. We are not there to make it easier. Sorry, but that's not our job. Is not to make your rallies more easily attended. If you're getting parking from across the street, okay, it's private property. If they're going to give you that opportunity to park there, okay, all right, but we don't have to make it easier for you and less convenient for our residents. All in all, for most of the meeting, the comments were civil and directed. And then at the end, when they weren't getting their way, or they certainly anticipated they weren't getting their way, it devolved. But I want to thank everyone who showed up, and just as the other committee men have said, and committee women, thank you to our residents for giving your take on the gatherings and the impact to your quiet enjoyment. And I want to thank everyone on the Township Committee for standing up and doing what you think is right. No further comments. At 8:30 on the dot, take a motion to adjourn for the evening.
So second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
I'll stop it.
Good night. Good night.
Night.